there! Welcome! We've got a fun activity to do in this video today, but first let's start out by reviewing some of the solfa we've learned so far to make sure we're still hearing it all. I'll sing a pattern, you sing it back, Mr. Roberts will sing with you. Let's sing this. Do, mi, so, mi.
Do, mi, so, mi.
La, so, mi, do.
La, so, mi, do.
Do, fa, re, do.
Do, fa, re, do.
Do, so, re, do.
Do, so, re, do.
La, do, re, mi.
La, do, re, mi.
La, so, do, do.
La, so, do, do. All right, well, hopefully you're doing well and you're reviewing these semi-regularly. I'm assuming you practice this at home all the time anyway without us. But we're going to move on and we're going to do a couple of new things. We're going to transition over to the board here. And I am going to have Georgia just write in a few pitches for us, and then we'll talk about some things. So I'm going to have her write do, re, mi, so. Great, looks good. And if you're writing along at home, you could just write out these same pitches so you can see that she put do right below the bottom line of the staff. Now what I'd like to talk about is a couple of things that you've maybe already mastered at home, but we haven't quite clearly explained how they should look, which is stems and beams and how they should look, how we should draw them. So I'm going to have Georgia write stems to make each of those four notes a ta, or a quarter note. But before she does that, I want to explain to her, if the note is below the halfway point of the staff, you're going to put that stem on the right side and it should go facing up. And the distance that it should go is about an octave. So sometimes I'll see people add a little stem and it'll just be about an inch long or so. And then I'll see other people write super long stems all the way up to here. And we're aiming for about an octave. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't need to count up very carefully, but that's about the length that your stem should look. So go ahead, Georgia. That's great. So if you're following along really carefully, you could count. This goes from there to there, and then each of the notes goes a little bit farther up. Okay, so let's write a few more notes. And now in the next measure here, I'm going to have her write fa, mi, re, fa. So far, so good. And then let's also write mi, do, and lo, so.
Do you think you know what I need for this last note there? Lo, so.
That's good. Yeah, so there's a ledger line. We learned that in one of the previous videos, and in this case, we needed 2 ledger lines to get all the way down to that lo, so. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make these first 4 pitches takas. And so we are going to draw the stems for the first and the 4th note, and I'll explain why. So again, they're going up about an octave, and now we're going to connect those 2 outer notes with a beam. Good, and now you can simply write in the stems for the other 2 middle notes. So now you can see that some of those notes have stems that are a little longer than an octave. But if we had made them all an octave before we connected the beam, then the line would be kind of swiggly and weird looking.
Something like that.
So we don't want that. Now you'll notice that because the first and the 4th note are both fas, the line is straight across. It's going right across, just like another line of the staff, sort of. But the next 2 notes we're also going to make into takas. The next 2, so Georgia can draw the stem. Now look at that. How is she going to connect those with a beam? Because they're going to be crooked, right? Well, even though you want all of your stems to be going perfectly up and down, the fancy word for that would be perpendicular from the staff lines. So they're making like an X or a cross or a 90-degree angle. Beams don't work that way. We actually just want them to connect in a straight line from the stems. So it's totally fine if they're going at an angle. That looks great. So that's how yours should look. Is that how you did it? Now we could just make this last note a ta.
It's almost touching it.
Almost, yeah. It's hard to write at an angle on a whiteboard sometimes, at least we find it is. Now, one more thing, and I'll just point this out. It's okay if you don't remember this forever, but I'll have at least said it once. Somebody might ask, well, we had 6 takas in a row. Why didn't we just connect them all with a beam? And the reason for that is these are measures of 4/4 time, and it makes it much, much easier to read when you write a bunch of notes in a measure if you make the middle point of the measure visible. Meaning, this is the first beat of the measure, this is the third beat of the measure, and it's halfway through. So I can see that helps me to count better. Okay, so there we go. We've got a couple measures of music. We've got beams and stems drawn just how we should. One more thing too is, I think I already said this, but in case I didn't, if the notes are up above the halfway point of the staff, let's say we had a note here or here, the stem is going to be the same length. It's going to go about an octave. Yeah, maybe Georgia could draw one there for us. Except, in this case, the stem is going to be on the left side of the note, and it should go down. So there you go.
Otherwise, you'd have a note
They go way
up
up
in the
there.
sky.
And sometimes you will have to do that if it's connected to a group of eighth notes. If you had eighth notes crossing all over the staff, you're basically just going for which direction are more of the notes going than others, if possible. Okay, so now let's try and sing this example, shall we? Before we do anything else, you'll remember I told you that first note was do. Can you go through here and write in solfa syllables? I already said them out loud, so you could cheat, or maybe you remember. But pretend you're not inclined to cheat and see if you can come up with the answers for these.
I'll give you just a second, and you can pause the video too. Fill out that whole line, and it should look like this.
Great. Let's see if we can sing that, shall we? So let's start here.
Low so.
As if you almost don't feel like you need to mark it because it's clearly so low.
Yeah.
All right, so let's start here and we're going to sing it together. Ready? Do, re, mi, sol, fa, mi, re, fa, mi, do, so.
I know this tune. If you sing some canons with us, with the singing family here, you may have been singing some of our Mother Goose canons and recognize this as Mary's at the cottage door, one of those early on, easier ones we learned. The words were 1, 2, 3, 4, Mary's at the cottage door. Does that sound like what we just sang? There's a second line to this song that goes 5, 6, 7, 8, eating cherries off a plate. I wonder if I can sing that second line on Lulu. I'll tell you it starts on me, just so you have a starting note. And then you see if you can write it in on the staff. Me is this note right here, our bottom space. So go ahead and write a note there to start. I'll sing the first measure on Lulu. You try writing it, and then Mr. Roberts will write it after. Here it is. Loo, 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 loo.
Okay, pause the video if you need to. Maybe you're already done if you're a speedster, but I'll write in my answer. Now, quick reminder here, pay attention to where the stems go.
We've got 2 tas with their stems going up. And then we have a taka and another ta. And that is mi, fa, sol, la, do, and that's high do. Mi, fa, sol, la, do. I'll sing the last measure on lu, lu, lu. Goes like this. Lu, 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 lu.
Well, I don't know if you recognized this, but the first thing I noticed was that the rhythm here was exactly the same as this. Did you hear that? Taka, 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 ta. So that'll help us out. Take your time, pause the video if you want. Again, remember that I'm going to think about making the stems totally straight up and down, about an octave. And I'm going to do the outer two notes of these 4/8 notes. And that's what I got.
Look at that. La, so, fa, la, so, mi, do. We made it home to do.
I struggle with the legibility of my writing a lot more than Georgia does, obviously. So there we go.
All right.
And now, Georgia mentioned this was a canon. I wonder if you've ever tried something like this before. If you can sing a canon together with the words 1, 2, 3, 4, Mary's at the cottage door, or whatever the words are, I don't see why we couldn't just sing a canon with our solfa syllables the same exact way. Have you ever tried it? It's something that's pretty fun to do. I think we're going to learn it, shall we?
We should.
Will you teach it to us, Georgia?
Absolutely. So what we're going to do first is just sing it through all together 2 times from the beginning. We're going to read the first line and the second line go back to right here. 2 times with me and Mr. Roberts. And can you try and sign it with us too? Start on do, do, re, mi, so, fa, mi, re, fa, mi, do, so, mi, fa, sol, la, do, la, so, fa, la, so, mi, do, do, re, mi, so, fa, mi, re, fa, mi, do, so, mi, fa, sol, la, do, la, so, fa, la, so, mi, do. Good luck with the signing there if that's getting fast. We won't do it any faster than that. Maybe even just a little slower now while we sing it in canon. So Mr. Roberts will start the canon. We'll sing it 2 times through like that again. But instead of starting right with him, if you sing canons with us a lot, you already know this. But I am going to wait while he sings the whole first line. And when he starts right here on me, I am going to start on do. So you could either sing with Mr. Roberts or me, or if you have a group and you're feeling really gutsy, you can split up and try it in 2 parts. So we'll sing it 2 times through.
All right, here we go. Wish us luck. We're the ones on video, so if you screw up, no one's ever going to know. So
that's true.
Give it your best try. Do, re, mi, so, fa, mi, re, fa, mi, do, so. Mi, fa, sol, la, do, la, so, fa, la, so, mi, do, do, re, mi, so, fa, mi, re, fa, mi, do, so, mi, fa, sol, la, do, la, so, fa, la, so, mi, do. Mi, fa, sol, la, do, la, so, fa, la, so, mi, do. It's funny, at least one time I found myself doing the sign of what I heard Georgia singing while I said something totally different. So We could
Hopefully
try.
we didn't screw you
We
up.
could edit the video to make it seem like we didn't screw it up, but just let that be a lesson to you. It's this is tricky, and it's fun to wrestle with this kind of stuff. So I hope you had some fun with that. Maybe you could find a different canon that you have sung before and see if you can figure out how to sing that one in solfa. I know that Georgia mentioned row, row, row your boat. You probably all know that canon. That's another good one. That you could do in the same way. So maybe you could try that one out at home. Find out the solfa, learn how to sing it, and then put it into canon. And hope you'll keep singing with us and keep learning this solfa stuff alongside us.